and it's coming from this website called Black Brazil Today. So as y'all know, a couple weeks ago, the movie One Love came out, which is the biopic about Bob Marley. It did pretty successful. I didn't go see it, but kudos to those who did. But in Brazil, yes, we are going back across the pond. You had a situation where there were people who went to go see the movie who, the demographic in Brazil, it does have people who would be considered Afro-Brazilian that live there. But we all know the landscape of Brazil is very whitewashed, so to speak. And if you know your history about slavery and the transatlantic slave trade, you know what stop they made first. It was over there. Well, what would become that later on. But you had this incident where somebody there asked, why are there so many blacks in the movie theater? Woman arrested for racism during showing a Bob Marley movie in southern Brazil. And I believe this woman right here who I have my cursor going over was the woman who said it. A woman identified as Bruna was arrested for racism during the screening of the film Bob Marley One Love at the Balneario, and I probably butchered that name, shopping cinema located in Santa Catarina. The complaint was made by a man named Jesus Clino, who was sitting in the next seat and heard the woman say, before there were no black people in the movie theater. Today there are so many, he said on video. My friend and I went in and sat down, and out of nowhere, the woman started looking at me differently. He says that when he asked her if she was saying that black people couldn't go to the movies, she replied, take it any way you want. This is a statement coming from Jesus Clino. Yesterday, I went to the cinema. Me and my friend went to the cinema at the shopping cinema. Then when we went in, we sat down, and out of nowhere, a couple that was on our left side, the girl started looking at me differently, and she looked at me differently. A little while later, she looked at me and said, wow, that's funny, isn't it? That before there weren't so many black people at the movies. Now there are a lot of black people at the movies. Then I said, is that what you're saying serious? My friend next to me stood up and asked, is that what you're saying? So in the old days, there were no black people in the movies. Today there are. I said, so you're telling me that black people can't go to the movies? Is that what you're saying? And she said, nope, but take it any way you like. Bruna says she was misinterpreted. According to her, her statement about the cinema being full of black people was referring to the fact that this scenario is rare to see in the south of Brazil, where the public is usually white. If you don't get out of here with that BS, she gonna sit up there and say, oh, it was misinterpreted. No, you said what you said and you meant it. I can almost imagine how she felt when Black Panther came out. So we see what she's on. And by the way, this, like I said, this is the woman right here that started it. This person right here. And this is the one that made the complaint. He said, I was there because this movie is also aimed at me because I am a non-dark-skinned black woman, the daughter of a black man, the granddaughter of black grandparents. I was feeling represented when in a matter of seconds, everything went down the drain with the hearing of a decontextualized phrase she said in an interview with the Post. Similarly, Bruna reports that she was taken out of the movie theater by the security guards. They were very helpful. The security guard thought they would go in there to remove a white albino couple, but when he saw me, he didn't believe me. They told me to show a photo of my black family because the police would understand that it had nothing to do with it, she said. And that's the entire article right there. Let me just say this. Exactly, Sawana, she didn't expect to get arrested for it. Let me just say this. If this is how they would treat the more darker skinned people over there, the ones who look like, you know, they don't blend in well with probably the mass population over there. If they will say stuff about them like that over there, What do you think they are going, those dirty footed, back hooved individuals, anti-black asses, are going to do when they slither their way through the border and get over here when it comes to us? If they are anti-black to the people that are native to that land over there, what makes you think that if they got the chance to get over here illegally, by the way, because I mean the border is wide open, what makes you think they're not going to be anti-black to us? Now, if you notice in the response that the man gave, it came off as a shocking one. Like they were shocked that this actually happened, because he constantly questioned, oh, did you just say that? Oh, did this just happen? Yes, she said that, and yes, it did happen. See, with us, we know how this works. That's why, like Wallow J said in the chat, we bite back. Our response would have been a whole lot different, because we know we have been so accustomed to dealing with Dub S for so long. Them, on the other hand, I don't know what or how their system is ran over there, so I'm not even going to try to guess. But when I tell you that Dub S is a global entity, it is. And the thing about it is, this woman right here is not, or would not, by the standards of this establishment, be considered white. Because she's lighter in skin tone, and I guess she feels that, oh, like I can blend in very well, you know, they're not going to check me. She fits right in. And like someone else said in the chat, she was shocked that she actually got checked on it, which tells me she's been holding on to these anti-black sentiments for quite some time. This did not just happen with this incident right here. I'm willing to bet she has said some slick stuff in the past. It's just that in this time, in this moment, she got caught and dealt with. So I'm not surprised by this in the least bit. But I bet I'll tell you this much: if people around the globe on a more collective scale watch the new black media and what we're pointing out to people here, if they watched it overseas, then they could be easily able to point it out to wherever it is that they're from. But then again, maybe they do know that dub is going on wherever they live. But many of them, unfortunately, turn a blind eye. They pretend like it doesn't exist. They just move through life and just like say, oh, it just is what it is. But yeah, like I said, keep that in mind. If they would do that to their own over there, imagine what they'll say about us if they ever got the chance to get over here. You already know. And I'm willing to bet a lot of the people that's coming over here right now probably have the same sentiments as this woman.